I'm stuck here, up late, can't sleep. Gotta try to get my mind off of things. So there's a guy who wanted to critique a movie called Kingdom of Heaven. Well, that's not really what it's about. It's more about this guy trying to claim that the crusades were awesome. He makes a lot of false claims and ignores quite a few things. Number one, he ignores modern slavery in first world countries. He tries to paint the Muslims as bloodthirsty slave owners, much like the South prior to and during the Civil War. Most people did not own slaves. Less than 1% of all people had enough money to own a slave. He tries to claim that the Muslims were cruel when they took over the Iberian Peninsula, what's now known as Spain. He tries claiming that because around 600 AD, there was a few Christians in the Holy Land, that means that the Crusades that started around 1000 AD, those were somehow justified. He also takes out what a jihad really is. He tries to make a jihad as if it's some holy war, and a jihad has never been a holy war. It's a reconquista. He brings up the reconquista. What's that? That's where a whole bunch of different nations in Europe decided they were going to come together and try to take over the Iberian Peninsula, enslave everyone, and kill everybody who wasn't Catholic. And that's exactly what they did. We've all heard of the Spanish Inquisition. That wasn't the first time that Catholicism went through the Iberian Peninsula and killed everybody that wasn't Catholic. This guy also claims that the Mediterranean Sea, which the Romans had for many years considered their sea or their ocean, because they owned all of the land around it. Unfortunately for them, their infighting led to their demise, led to them losing massive swaths of people. Emperor Constantine tried to piece it back together, but he never converted to Christianity. Matter of fact, his first church, he made sure that the inside of it was covered with all of the most demonic-looking creatures of ancient lore. Fauns and nymphs and things of that nature. Horned devils, so to speak. Now this guy tries to claim that because from 350 to 600 AD, that Catholics, hundreds of years later, claimed it was mostly Christian and that's why they went. The fact is, Constantine only converted to Christianity because it was popular among the people. Saladin was not a Muslim. He never became a Muslim. But he is considered the savior of Islam. Why is this? Because the Crusades were horrible. And through nearly all of it, anybody who wasn't Christian was slaughtered. There were 2 crusades where that didn't happen, out of a total of 11 crusades. 11. There's a difference between a jihad and a crusade. A jihad is very specifically to reclaim land. Reclaim it. That means it was taken from them. Eye for an eye. Right? Who teaches that? I've learned all I need to learn about religion. Religion is flawed. So is science, but science is not set in stone, as your folklore is. When Islam took over the Iberian Peninsula, it was primarily the people that rose up. Because just as Christianity had been misused by the hierarchy, starting with Constantine, well, the people got sick of that eventually. The same as they had gotten sick of the old gods, because the rich used those to control the masses. The Christian God was supposedly for the people. And Islam tried to give it back to the people. A lot of political crap, isn't it? A bunch of bullshit that's got nothing to do with God. The Holy Land was not primarily Christian. It was primarily Muslim. Even around 600 AD, most of the people in that region were scattered tribesmen. Now this guy, Pax Stupidity, or whatever his name is. Pax means peace. It's a Roman term. Pax Romana means Roman peace, or the peace of Rome. Constantine was a Roman emperor. He decided to make Christianity the official religion of the Roman Empire for the simple fact of if he hadn't, the civilians would have risen up and destroyed the entire empire. All of it. By the time the Crusades rolled around, there wasn't very many Christians left in many of these regions because they'd converted to Islam and a whole bunch of other religions in the area. Now, of course, this guy tries to claim that the Islamic piracy that came from that is what resulted in the Dark Ages for Europe. And that's not the case either. Brutal infighting over property, land, and ownerships of slaves. That's what kept Europe divided and conquered and in the dark. The Magna Carta changed all that, but that wouldn't be for many years. The Romans, they owned everyone. And when they dissolved, well, all of their territories were subdivided, and all of the people that were in charge tried to subdivide and rule their kingdom as Romanesque as possible. But again, it was too much infighting that destroyed the Roman Empire. As a result, that infighting remained and remains to this day. The Crusades were fought over political idealism. It's kind of like if everybody in New York loves Coney Island and you own Coney Island. Even if Coney Island is torn down and busted and everything's falling apart and the paint's chipped and falling off, people still go there to take pictures, regardless of who owns it. The Muslims started allowing Christians into Muslim lands so they could visit their holy temples and holy sites, the parts of their book that were important to them. And the Muslims allowed this. Just as they had allowed religious freedom in the Iberian Peninsula while they were in charge of it. Now basically this Pax feller tries to paint Islam as the catalyst that destroyed Rome. And it really wasn't. Their fight with Carthage is what sealed their fate. They wanted the Mediterranean to be their own private swimming pool. A not very inclusive swimming pool after Christianity came forward. It was Christianity itself that led to the infighting that created the fall of Rome. My phone's probably going to die real soon. I got to save it for making calls in the morning. Fuck this goddamn country and everyone in it.